Welcome back, everybody, to Aztec Now. Steve Quist from Channel 4 San Diego in for Ted Leitner, who's with the basketball team in the Central Valley. Let's continue the football discussion now with Brian Stahovich, who is the punter for San Diego State. And, boy, look at these stats. The 8th-ranked punter in the nation as a sophomore. You have to be pretty proud about how the season's gone so far.
Yeah, it's been a good season overall, but it's a team effort. It's all 11 guys on the punt team doing their best and getting downfield. Our net is, I believe, it's 40 yards,
right.
So that's just a good, and my average is only 44, so it just shows a good effort of everybody getting downfield.
Yeah, I would think as a punter, you look at 8th in the nation, but you'd rather, be last in the amount of punts you have to punt. You know what I'm saying? You want the offense to move the football so that you're only punting once, maybe twice a game tops.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, talk to me about who some of the guys you've looked at and trying to mirror your career after when you're punting.
Well, one of the biggest of all, I think, is Ray Guy, and I've watched some of his videos, and he's just probably one of the best out there, if not the greatest ever. He was the beginning of a great series.
You're a little too young, though, to actually see him kick live, correct?
Right. I've seen some of his workout videos.
Okay. And so what have you learned from him to be?
Just a lot of the fundamentals and just how the best do it.
How about the guy here in San Diego and Mike Cyphers right now?
We
were talking off camera. One of the best. Would you agree?
I would agree he's one of the best. He has the perfect pooch punt every single time. He downs inside the 10. It's remarkable how he can do that.
Have you ever had an opportunity to speak with him? Or?
I met him at a training camp for the Chargers, but I've always wanted to work out with him, but it just hasn't really worked out, really.
All right. And when you see his game, what do you look at and you think, okay, is there anything a punter can pick up? I know when Ryan Lindley probably looks at, something that Phillip Rivers is doing and saying, oh, maybe I can do that. Is there anything you look at with Mike Cyphers, who you and I think is by far the best, sets the bar in the National Football League? Is there anything you can look at to pattern your game after him?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned from him is I've just watched his kind of rugby kick that he gets end over end, and he always makes it just bounce up at the 4 or 5 yard line, and it comes straight up, and I've always just kind of watched him on that and just kind of picked all that up.
And how about as developing as a kicker? How difficult is it? Do you find yourself getting better each year when you come from high school? We saw you kick at Cathedral. You did a great job there. Can you see the marked improvement in your game from Cathedral to here?
Yeah, I think you can always look back. I mean, the numbers really tell. Last year as a freshman, I averaged 39, and this year I'm at 44, and it's just a big step from just becoming more consistent. I've had more longer punts and less shorter punts. So,
does it come down to kicking many times in practice and working at it, working with some coaches, or just getting the legs stronger, bigger, older, becoming more of a veteran?
It comes with a lot of technique and just doing quality over quantity.
Okay. And how about the changes in the coaching staff? Has that helped you at all to become better?
I think the changes in the coaching staff hasn't really affected me a lot, except for with Coach Farino, it's a lot more directional punting. So we're kicking it to the sidelines. We're just trying to shorten down the field for them so they get less return. And I think that's really helped with our net.
Do you enjoy punting? I mean, half the Mountain West Conference here, you're punting at altitude. So guys, Wyoming's the highest. Air Force is high. Utah, where you're just at. You admire what those guys can do when the ball hits their foot?
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best conferences to punt in as far as because you have that great altitude. And being in San Diego, we're at 37 feet, so we don't really have a lot of that. But it's
There's
fun.
No advantage there?
Yeah, it's fun to go to these mountain games and just see what it does up there.
How about just talk about the loss real quick against Utah? And is it something that's forgotten and when you get back to practice field right away?
Well, it lingers around, but we just didn't come out in the first half like we did in the second half.
Okay, and UNLV's coming up. Is it they put a lot of pressure on a punter, or are they pretty much leave you alone for a little bit?
Well, we'll see. I mean, every team does something different every other game, so they could bring whatever.
Okay, and how about just an overall change in the attitude from where you guys were at this point last year? It's sitting here at the end of November, at the end of the season, and to where Brady has brought you guys this season with the double the amount of wins at the very least.
I think from last year to this year has been a big change. It's more upbeat. The whole tempo is just different.
Interesting. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Brian Stahovich, everybody, the kicker at first at Cathedral, now here at San Diego State. One of the guys from in San Diego that didn't get away and is doing wonderful things here at San Diego State. Let's step aside now on Aztec Now, and when we come back, we're going to take a look back at the 2009 football season as we do it to music. Stay with us. Coming up next.